Welcome to the Net Front Presence. I'm Jeff Gordon of the Post-Dispatch, joined by our beat reporter Matthew DeFranks in our nation's capital. Matthew, let's get started by talking about the Capitals and the Great Eight. How is it possible that the Russian machine never breaks? How is it possible?
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable what he's doing this year, right? And even after, the broken leg, what has he got? 30 goals in 42 games as a 39-year-old. Across the past week, I've been kind of just just joking. He's going to score 6 on Tuesday. He's going to score 7 against the Blues, and that's going to be the record, right? He only got 1 on Tuesday, so I don't expect him to put up 12 against the Blues tonight. I don't know. I don't think that's in the cards. But I was thinking the other day, I was like, well, if he didn't break his leg, he didn't miss that time, how much closer is he right now to the record? And then the overarching theme of that is, what if he didn't have two lockouts, two COVID shortened seasons, like all those games that the league just missed while it was his career. Where would he be at right now, and where would he end up in the future? It's remarkable what he's been doing. And Jim Montgomery talked a little bit about it yesterday after Blues practice, that whenever they face the Capitals, the game plan is, okay, how do we stop Ovechkin? And it's been that way for 20 years now.
And he's just such an interesting character because he'll run you over. He doesn't need that stinking backhand because he's got that shot. But he plows over people. He plays a physical game. And the thing about this year's team, Matthew, I think, going into the year, there was probably some concern that the Capitals, with some rebuilding, could they contend for a playoff spot while trying to make sure the Great Eight gets his record? Can the two happen simultaneously? Can they contend, and can he get his record given his age and all that it goes into trying to get there in the twilight? Well, they answer that question and then some. This team's played extremely well, and he is scoring goals, and they're winning. It's one of the better stories in the league.
Yeah, and I think like that was kind of the thought. It's like, hey, like, we have this guy, we're gonna want him to break the record in our uniform. But what does that mean for the rest of our team? And they've only just been the best team in the Eastern Conference, jostled back and forth with Winnipeg for best team in the league. And to be honest, I still don't know how it's happening. I look at the roster and I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess they have some guys overperforming, Alexi Protas, and you got Jacob Chikrin, Dylan Strome. Like, you have those guys maybe performing above expectations. But I don't think anyone saw them being like this sort of team. And when you have Ovechkin, and you mentioned the style he plays, I just looked it up, third all time in hits. And that's kind of a cluttered stat because they've only been tracking hits for about 20 years. So it doesn't include the first 100 years of NHL hockey. But the fact that he's at 3,700 hits, 3,714, that's a lot. That's a lot for a guy who's going to be the all-time goal leader, right? So it's a unique style he plays, unique shot he has, and in a way, unique longevity for what he does. He's up there in games played. I mean, I think he won't hit 1,500 this year. He's at 1,468, so still 32 games away from that, and there's less than that remaining this year. But if he's back next year, there's a possibility he rises up to maybe top 15 in games played of all time, number 1 in goals all time. That's quite a career for a guy who I think a lot of people expected big things out of, obviously. But to break one of the perceived untouchable records, it's pretty remarkable.